Your job as a storyteller is to find your story's soul, is what changes a list of facts into a vibrant narrative, something that will move people to action, to hope, to fear, to laughter, and to tears. How do you do that? Let's take a look at Pixar's Soul. Soul is the story of Joe Garner, a jazz musician on the brink of his big break, whose life takes an unexpected turn, leaving his soul separated from his body and whisked away to the great before. However, in some of the early drafts of the movie, Joe wasn't a jazz musician, he was an out-of-work actor living in New York. But during pitching those early drafts of the movie, Pixar found that the audiences thought Joe's goal of chasing fame was a selfish one and not exactly relatable to everyone. So the team at Pixar made an edit, change out-of-work actor to jazz musician. They felt with music, especially jazz music, you don't go into it to be rich and famous. You do it because you actually have a passion for it. However, this presented a new problem. Jazz comes from the Black communities in New Orleans and is deeply rooted in the Black experience. However, Pete Docter, the solo writer at the time, is a white guy from Bloomington, Minnesota. So they made their next edit, bringing Kemp Powers to help write and co-direct. Immediately, Kemp saw the gaps in Joe's character and knew what was needed to make him authentic, as Kemp put it.
Enter a truly Black space, and there's really no more authentic a Black space in the community than a barbershop.
This insight led to the next edit of adding a barbershop scene, a moment that brings richer depth and cultural resonance to a narrative drawing from Kemp's own experience as a Black man from New York. Orson Welles once said, "A film is never right until it is right musically," suggesting that beneath the surface of everything, whether it's science, the human experience, or nature, there is a rhythm that is akin to music, and our job as storytellers is to find the music in our stories, and in doing so, we find the soul, which brings me to the sixth law of storytelling. Editing is the secret to finding your story's music and your story's soul. But there's a risk here because too much editing can chip away at your story's central themes, leaving you with a pile mess of scenes that don't exactly make sense. So how do you edit without losing your story's soul? I am so glad that you asked. Number one, define your story's core. Write a one-sentence summary that captures the essential message of your story, and then run every single thing against that one sentence. If a scene, a line, or a moment in your story doesn't measure up to that one sentence summary, go ahead and revise it or cut it. Number two, trim the excess. Create a must list of things that you have to have in order to drive the plot along and to get to the resolution. If something isn't driving the plot along or getting to the resolution, it's not developing a character, or it's not mattering to the story, go ahead and feel free to cut that or revise it. Number three, collaborate with feedback. Share your story with other people, beta readers, and bring folks to the table that can help you shape the story in an authentic way. And number four, trust your instinct. Once you've run through those first three steps, it's time to trust your gut when you start to see your story's soul shine through. Let's try that again.